Leather, leather, leather. It's an elegant, durable, and natural material that we all love and enjoy on things, and we see it just about everywhere nowadays, especially on iPhone cases. With that said, there's a lot of iPhone leather case options to choose from, and I'll be going over several notable brands, as well as some brands that you may have not heard of, to help you out in seeing which iPhone Leather MagSafe case would be the best one to pick up. So, if you like leather,
But I don't like leather. I love leather.
then stick around to check out my whole review and comparison of all these cases. Hey guys, welcome back to Tech Up. In today's video, I'll be going over 6 different MagSafe leather cases for your iPhone and see which one is the best. I'll of course go over the design, features, and fit of them first in detail, and then see how well each of these cases holds my MagSafe accessories, and how strong the magnets are on these cases with several tests that I'll perform. Lastly, I'll also measure the strength of these magnets on them like I've done in my previous videos to give you an idea on how good the MagSafe is on the back, so you can determine if the MagSafe is just as good as the leather. In the end, I'll give you my take on all of them, and I hope this review helps you out in finding out which leather case is the one to get. I will be testing out all of them on my iPhone 13 Pro Max, but many will be available for various iPhone models, and I'll list them in the review. By the way, this is an honest, unpaid review of these cases. No case brand in this video has reached out to me, except the folks at Benks, who've recently given me the opportunity to test out their Magclap 2-in-1 wireless charging stand, which features 15 watts of fast charging and provides simultaneous charging for 2 devices, such as your AirPods and iPhone. It's compatible with MagSafe and comes in 2 color options. Moreover, it features a 15-degree adjustable magnetic head to adjust the viewing angle of your iPhone when it's magnetically charging. Personally, these stands are the way to go nowadays, especially for charging your iPhone, and this Benks stand has been perfect for my desk, and it could be a great stand for a side table, in the bedroom, or living room as well. I've certainly enjoyed it for quite some time, and it's a great way to charge your devices. So, if you're interested in getting one of these, feel free to click the Benks link to their site in the description of this video, and pick one up at a discounted price. Benks will offer a 15% off discount for my followers when you apply the code and click that link below. I'll also be using the Benks 2-in-1 charging stand in my tests for all these cases in this video, so you'll have a good perspective on what it's like. Anyways, back to the review. To start things off, I'll be going over the design, features, and fit of each case first. And the first one I decided to go over was the Apple MagSafe leather case. It's available for all iPhone models and comes in various color options. It's really the same old leather case that we saw for the iPhone 12, and it has that slim and smooth leather design with a somewhat slippery leather grip. The case covers the entire phone on all sides, and the buttons are good to the touch with a decent amount of travel when using them. They're not too hard to press. As for the case, it also has good cutouts for the port and speakers and features a solid lip for the camera for protection. Furthermore, the lip or raised edges around the screen of the phone provides some protection, but I'd say it doesn't offer the best protection around the edge of the screen, just enough to get by. Also, there is no flex, or it's very minimal on the sides of the lip of the case, except near the buttons where it's slightly more noticeable. Furthermore, there's no added protection on the inside of the case near the corners to absorb the impact when the iPhone is dropped. However, it does offer that microfiber lining you'd see on the interior of most cases. Now, in terms of putting the case on or taking it off, I'd say it's an easy fit and there's no issue with struggling to put it on or take it off. Also, the case does have some flex to it when attempting to bend it, but it's more durable than a thin silicone case. As for the Aspen Andar, which is very similar to Apple's leather case, it's as slim and smooth to the touch with a similar grip to Apple's and comes in 4 different color options for all the iPhone 12 and 13 models. As for this iPhone case, right out of the box, the leather scent is quite potent compared to the Apple's leather case, or any of the other cases in this review. It's real
leather,
because it's made of premium full-grain oiled wax leather, and it includes alloy metal buttons as well. Speaking of these buttons, from all these iPhone cases that I'm testing in this review, these buttons were hands down the best. The travel was great on them, and they all offer a nice clicky sound when pressed. Furthermore, the cutouts are clearly different for the port and speakers, as it's more open and exposes the bottom part of the iPhone to any drops. As for the rest of the case, it has a solid lip around the camera as well, and a decent lip around the screen of the phone. The lip protection around the screen here is very similar to Apple's leather case, with the exception of the bottom part of the case, which has no protection or lip at all. Furthermore, the lip on this case doesn't flex as much as Apple's, and it also doesn't offer protection on the inside near the corners for absorbing drops. Lastly, it also has that similar microfiber lining on the inside of the case. Now, just like Apple's case, it's easy to put on and take off with its easy fit, but one thing I noticed is that this case seems to flex slightly less compared to Apple's, but is still very similar to that case overall. As for the third iPhone leather case that I tried out, which is the Lonli Classic, this one was the cheapest of the bunch in this whole review and is more of a budget-friendly leather case. It comes in several color options, and it's available for most iPhone 12 and 13 models. Now, unlike the first two cases I've tested, this case has a slightly better grip, and it's still smooth to the touch, but has more traction from my experience than the first two cases I went over. It's also made out of Italian Napa leather, which is full grain leather, and it also has that slight noticeable scent. The case itself covers the entire phone, and it has no flex near the lip of the case except the area around the buttons and the bottom. It also features a nice lip around the camera just like the previous two, and the lip around the screen of the case is somewhat similar to Apple's and Andar's case. However, this case does seem a little thicker than the other two cases on the edges, which makes it feel and seem a bit more protective. Furthermore, the buttons have good travel, and I personally thought that they were better than Apple's buttons, but still not as close to Andar's buttons. As for the cutouts, they are great for the port and speakers, and as for the inside of the case, it's just like the previous two cases with no additional protection, and of course, it has that same microfiber lining. Now, in terms of the fit and what it's like putting the case on and taking it off, it's just like the other two cases, with once again a pretty easy fit. You'll find no trouble with putting it on or taking it off. However, unlike the previous two cases, this case seemed to be a bit more protective with a slightly thicker edge. However, the flex of the whole case is about the same like the other two. But for the price, it could definitely be a good option compared to the first two cases I reviewed. Now, for the fourth case I reviewed, which is the Casetify leather case, it comes out to be the priciest one out of all of them in the review. And it's a case that's made out of 90% recyclable materials. And maybe that's why it's so pricey. Maybe. Who knows, but to me, even though the leather and design are nice with a more appealing full grain leather look to it compared to previous cases that had a much smoother finish, it may be something you're looking for. And the grip is the best that I reviewed up until this point, and probably in this whole review. Anyways, this case does come in several color options, and if you buy it from Casetify, you can also customize the case or buy one that's customized, and it's available for various iPhone models. When it comes down to the protection, it's like the previous cases on the inside where it won't really absorb any drops near the corners. However, the whole case does provide a decent amount of lip protection around the phone and the camera, but it still offers that same design like others I've reviewed. As for the flex of this case, it's honestly hard to bend it. It did one of the best jobs of not showing any flex near the lip of the case when it was on the iPhone, but the buttons on this case were, in my opinion, the worst buttons I've tried out. They are really hard to push, and the travel when pressing the buttons isn't great. To me, they weren't as comfortable or easy to use as the rest in this whole review. Lastly, the cutouts on this case near the bottom were good, and in terms of its fit, it's very similar to most of the others, with it being easy to remove and put on. As for the rest of the case, it felt like it offered an even thicker leather material than the previous cases up until this point, and it offered a decent amount of flex on the whole case, but it was the stiffest whole leather case in this review. As for the next case, which really isn't a full leather case compared to the ones I already went over, is the Mous Leather Limitless 4.0, which is a unique case that is primarily made out of TPU plastic with a black leather back, which has that similar leather texture that's found on the Casetify case. However, it only comes in one color option for the recent iPhone models, and offers a standard grip like most plastic cases. The cutouts on the bottom for the port and speakers are nice, with a bigger cutout than the rest of these cases, especially on the ring and silent slider that's found on the side of the phone. And as for the buttons, they are nicer in my opinion, with better travel than most of these cases, except the Andar case, which had the best buttons overall. Now, just like the previous cases, this case does also offer a lip to protect the camera, and one of the best lips or edges on the front of the case to protect the screen. The reason I'm saying that is because near the corners of the case, the lip is raised for more added protection to protect your screen. Also, the lip does a better job of sealing the edge than the first couple of cases I went over. And the flex is very minimal on the lip of the case except near the buttons. And unlike the other cases, this case has that contour design where it curves more around the corners as well as the top and bottom to offer a perfect fit for the iPhone. Furthermore, it also offers more protection for the corners and edges on the inside of the case with its AeroShock technology in green, which definitely helps to protect your phone from those unexpected drops better than the other cases in this review. Lastly, it features a matte plastic back inside of it, unlike the others that have a microfiber lining. Now, in terms of putting this case on or taking it off, it doesn't have that nice easy fit like the other cases. It will certainly take more effort to put on or take off. Lastly, when flexing this whole case, it's pretty stiff when I tested it, but it's hands down one of the most protective iPhone cases in this review. As for the last and final case I reviewed, which is the Nomad Modern Leather, I've used this particular case for quite some time, and Nomad's been a notable leather case brand for iPhones over the years. They're known for their Horween leather, which offers a nice rugged patina look over time when it's used. This modern leather case has the Horween leather on the back of it, but there is another less expensive option below it with a different type of leather. It also comes in several color options and for various iPhone models as well, but it isn't a full leather case like the Mous case that I reviewed. The edge of the case is made out of TPE plastic and offers air bumpers on the inside to protect the phone from 10-foot drops per Nomad. Furthermore, it has a cool NFC feature called Digital Business Card, where you can share your contact information with others using a third-party service called Popple. And if you're into that stuff, there are more features and options with them. As for the rest of the case, the buttons are really nice, and to me, they were the second best buttons after Andar that I tested. They offer really good travel when pressed, and the power button offers a nice grip to it. As for the cutouts, they were good as well, and the lip on the front of the case was right up there with the Mous case in terms of offering great protection. It provides decent raised edges, and it covers all the edges of your iPhone screen really well. However, the flex on the lip of this case is more flexible than Mous's case, but it also offers a nice lift for protecting the camera and features two areas for attaching a lanyard. Also, the Nomad Modern Leather and Mous case are the only ones that feature the option for lanyards. Lastly, the inside lining has more of a felt type of material compared to the rest in this review. Now, in terms of fit, this case is similar to the Mous Leather Limitless 4.0. It offers a really nice seal around the edge of the iPhone, and it will take more effort to put it on or take it off, unlike the first couple of cases. I also noticed that when charging this case, it quickly leaves a MagSafe ring mark that forms from the heat when it's charging, and I really didn't see that with the other cases. But who knows, over time all of them may potentially leave marks. That's just the beauty of leather. Lastly, the flex of the whole case is the same like Mous's case, and it's also as protective as that case. Now, with me going over the design and features as well as the fit of each case, the real question is, how do they perform with various MagSafe accessories? Well, from all the tests I did with my MagSafe wallet, to my Anchor power bank, and the Magclap 2-in-1 charging stand, this was the order from worst to best. The Casetify leather case came in as the worst case out of all of them in this review, since everything that I attached to it came off when I performed a light shake test. Now, when it came down to placing it on the wireless charging stand, it held on well but was the easiest case to take off. After that case, the Nomad Modern Leather performed slightly better, but I didn't have any issues with the accessories falling off of it. The MagSafe power bank held on but shifted out of place, while the wallet held on great, and the case did a good job of staying on the Magclap wireless charging stand. Now, after Nomad, the Mous Limitless 4.0 came in slightly after it, but it was neck and neck between the Nomad case. However, the MagSafe accessories held on a bit better, and the case did stay on pretty good on the wireless 2-in-1 charger. After the Mous case, I placed the Andar Aspen case above it, and it too was neck and neck with the Apple case, as it did an even better job of holding the MagSafe accessories, and it held on a bit better than the previous cases on the Magclap charging stand. Considering Andar's case fell slightly behind Apple's, I placed it in the second spot since it too did a good job with holding the MagSafe accessories. but what I noticed was that the Apple leather case was a little bit stronger magnetically when rotating it on the Magclap wireless charger. As for the best case, the Lonli Classic, which was the budget-friendly case in this review, had the best results in my shake test, with all the accessories holding on great and none of them shifting out of place. This case was also really good when placing it on the Magclap 2-in-1 charging stand. Alright, now when measuring the strength of the MagSafe magnets on these cases, these were the average Gauss and Tesla readings I got for all of them, starting from the worst to the best. And when looking at this order, it's basically the exact same order I placed the cases in for my MagSafe tests. The Casetify case had the weakest magnet on the back, while the Lonli Classic had the best. The only reason why the Lonli Classic got the best reading is because the lower magnet on the bottom of the ring offered higher magnetic readings. Therefore, it edged out the others, but without that stronger magnet at the bottom, it would have matched the other two cases behind it with the same readings. In the end, after watching this whole review, I hope I was able to help you out with possibly determining which of these 6 Leather MagSafe cases may be for you. Overall, even though the Mous and Nomad cases had the least amount of leather, they certainly had the best protection overall, with a really nice seal over the screen of the iPhone, and camera as well, while also offering the best interior protection for your iPhone. These were definitely the most rugged leather cases in this review. As for the least rugged cases, but the ones that offered the nicest premium leather, were the Andar and Apple cases. They were also the thinnest of the bunch. Now, even though the Casetify case had the worst buttons in my experience, it had the best textured full grain leather grip around the whole case, and along with the Lonli Classic, they were both thicker and seemed to offer better protection than the Andar and Apple cases. Anyways, there are many pros and cons for each of these cases in this review, and I bet you saw the differences. All in all, I really hope you found this video helpful, and if you did, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to see more reviews like this. And as always guys, I hope to see you back here for the next video.